Corey's hands are up.
I do what I'm told.
Right. So we almost botched it yesterday, but we did it. There's this thing where like if you have too many pilots and both people hit the go live at the same time, that the broadcast just like goes live for 1 second and it kills itself. So me and Corey, we do this weird thing where one of us puts our hands in the air. It's always fun. Welcome back to Volume 2 of the Uplift World Whitepaper Chronicles, where members of the Uplift World founding team go through and lay out what's happening in the white paper, what's going to happen, what it all means for you as part of the community and for the project going forward. You tune into our YouTube channel for the first part yesterday, which is kind of the general introduction. Today we're going to dive into a little bit more heavy stuff. We will be back tomorrow for sure at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll probably be back on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Sunday, well, what happens on Sunday, Miss Chris Tuttle? I think she's muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Sunday is Snapshot Day, noon Eastern.
Yeah. So there's lots of things that are happening. We have the snapshot before the snapshot. Remember, there's various ways that you can become involved if you have land. If you burn Upliftium, those are the two main ways. We'll probably again get to that Saturday morning. I think that's probably
totally tiny update. Like if you haven't seen it yet, if you go on to enter.theuplift.world and log in, you'll actually see the estimated amount of DAO tokens you're able to claim right there on the site, and that'll update with some frequency. So
that's really fancy. Cool. If you guys haven't seen that yet, enter.theuplift. I think it's just on the main page right when you get in there, showing that stuff. I still am definitely going to be burning a little bit more Upliftium. And if you follow me on Twitter, I bought a bunch a week ago, or a little bit less than a week ago maybe. And then I just decided I'm just going to try and give it all away before Sunday, and I've got a bunch left to do. And I'm just asking for people's gratitudes and wax in the comments at Corey Cottrell on Twitter. I'll throw it up on the screen here, but I want to give some more away, but I also want to burn some more because at the end of the day, I am a degen. This is just a real thing that's real. Anyway, so part 2, we should rock and roll on this here of the Uplift World white paper. I should remind everyone, I said a million times we were never going to do a white paper roadmap because it was just a list other groups did and then didn't do anything, and I was wrong and stupid, and now we have a white paper and a roadmap.
But you weren't, in my opinion, wrong or stupid. Like a white paper coming from a company that is private, that is about to do a big ass mint and bring in a bunch of money from people and promise based on that white paper and roadmap a bunch of features that they then may struggle to accomplish is not great, in my opinion. I think it's a great way to get people overly hyped up, set unrealistic expectations, and cause problems. Right, but what we have here is a DAO founding document white paper, and so this is what all of us are agreeing to work on. And because we're such a big group of people, especially as a DAO, we need something like it. And similarly with the roadmap, it's about priorities, not about promises, and it's about figuring out as a group of us how we're going to get this working together. So it's just a little different from a standard one. But
I was half joking. Thank you so much for dragging me out from under the bus that I tried to throw myself under. No, I think that clip is all the marbles, right? Like what you just said is the priorities, not promises. Like I want that duct taped on my face because it's real. And again, the episode today, this part of the white paper is the state of the uplift, and really for us that's what have we actually delivered on, right? Because we did say some stuff about what the actual game plan was. We sold land NFTs before we could make them work, right? But very quickly, within a matter of a month or two, we made them work, right? And all the other things that we said that we're going to probably be able to do, the vast majority of them we've done. And so that's kind of how it gets to the list of getting on our near-term priority list, right? The projects that or ideas or features that we've got, and I think we're actually going to be able to go over a lot of those today. But they're the only way they can get on that list is if we are reasonably certain that we're actually going to be able to accomplish it. So this one's going to be fun.
It's one of my favorite things about working for this team is we kind of have a if it's not a one pager, then we don't talk about it kind of rule, which is nice because then we can filter those things into the white paper and get to things that actually make a difference and matter. And like, there's been a lot of cool ideas that have fallen by the wayside. Oh, you got it up. Okay, great. I can take mine down. So this one is another community one, if I'm not mistaken, and it's completely out of date, I would imagine now.
A couple weeks later, there's definitely been some growth since then. Wow. So actually, I just sent this over to MKY, who actually set up a conversation with me in like this Canadian exchange because they want a footprint in the metaverse. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. So anyway, just status to date, where we are. Not your kind of white paper that just talks about what it might intend to build. We should probably say intend instead of intends. As a little edit there. So the Uplift World, what are the stats? 1,600 weekly active wallets. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a lot more. 8,461 linked wallets. 2,641 unique land holders. 19 billion upliftium issued. 1.8 billion upliftium burned again. This is old. I would be really excited to see how much has been burned since then, because it's probably a lot higher. So 1.8 billion upliftium unclaimed. I'm sure that number has changed again. Like upliftium's kind of gone, has definitely heated up as a market, because again, the snapshot's going to be on Sunday, and however much upliftium you spend or burn before then is going to, you're going to get some DAO tokens for that. So 16,000 plus plots distributed.
That's way higher now.
Yeah, it's way higher now. 180 portals installed. I'd be willing to bet that that's way more. I actually just bought, I think it was like 20 or 30 of them myself to put in. 2,300 pictures installed. Again, like Minecraft as the base layer, but we can put in high res images into Minecraft. That's how people are putting pictures that are NFT collections and yada yada yada. Right, so it's a huge part of how things have been working for us. And 7,596 Discord members. I'm curious to see how that's changed over the last couple of weeks as well.
And 5 screenshots.
Data piece. Yeah, and those screenshot things were purchased. We figured out. I was in one of the data things that one of our community members created this awesome. I think it was like Modded Outlaw or something. Created this awesome data page for a lot of these stats. That it's active as far as I know, and those were just like you could buy a screenshot package from us. We would go in and take some screenshots or whatever. Because the idea that there's only been 5 screenshots in the uplift, like I did 50 this morning, right? So it's probably not accurate. All right,
I can do this one.
All right.
I like this one. So through the looking glass into the Uplift metaverse worlds. Right now, we've got quite a few. So we'll just go through them.
Okay.
The old worlds is the origin story of the Uplift World metaverse, much of which was built at least a year before the project was even envisioned. There are many places to take note of in this region, stretching all the way back to the first days of the server. The main points of interest are the early Gratitude Caverns and Cathedral 2.0 in the historical district, the Uplift World Transport Hub and Hall of Rules, the historic railway to the east lined with early monolithic builds inspired by gratitude and science, the Blue Room, Uplift Art, Rainbow Village, and I Belong Here, Nefty Block's headquarters, and more. The Cathedral 2.0, built together by the Gratitude Guardians shortly after the Uplift server was founded, as a new site for a weekly ecumenic ceremony to appreciate life through the practice of gratitude. Built all in survival by this guy up here, and totally overshadowed by a giant moonbeam that went in on the last day.
Mostly in survival. I might have magicked myself a little bit of glass, but I didn't know you could fly. So I had like scaffolding all set up. Like I built that dome and died many times doing it.
And then, of course, below that, the Old World Transport Hub and Hall of Rules that helps to initiate new community members and visitors into what needs to be known to effectively get started on the right foot in the metaverse, which is an awesome build if you haven't seen it. It's really cool. The Hall of Rules is really cool. It was put together a few months ago. It's got, images and things from in the game. We had a Christmas party there. Went in, decorated Christmas trees. This is where the portals for the NFT open house events basically are there. People can jump in and they go directly there and jump through the portal to the ported off servers. Just a really cool place to go and check out. And again, if you haven't, Corey mentioned this yesterday, if you haven't been in Old World, go check it out, because like a lot of people aren't building there, right? There's no one building there really, other than like the old school people. And Jen's awesome, Rainbow Village, the volcano, the old train line that goes out to when this whole world kind of started, is really fun as well, to see all those old builds. So definitely go check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Just a couple things in the comments. Zetcher, thank you for saying everyone should visit Old World. That's totally true. Greg's laughing about the blue beam in the Cathedral 2.0. There's a blue beam that goes from the middle of the building all the way up to the sky. And very often when people see the cathedral and go there for the first time, they're like, "Oh, that beam is awesome." It's what Greg did, right? I think he did a couple other things in the interior too, but that's basically it. I spent gazillions of hours on it or whatever. No, people love the beam. Greg, you freaking. And yes, I may have murdered a llama building the DNA monument that is in the Old World as well. So Genesis, I'll take that one. The creative metropolis and Genesis moment of the Uplift. Yeah, if you haven't seen, I mean, I know a lot of people have it. If you're sort of new to Uplift World space, if you haven't seen the live maps, definitely check those out, because just like seeing in a stark relief, you can actually look at 3D maps. This is kind of what they look like on the picture here. It's absolutely nuts. Like, it's just the amount that's built there is, I think, a real sign of what the rest of our maps are going to look like. Even by the end of this year. So anyway, Genesis is our first region ever available to be populated by early adopters, have its region minted as NFTs, and is a very special creative place. Genesis is more developed than other servers due to primarily its early availability to lots of partner community projects and the sheer scale and speed people can develop at with so few limitations. It's a creative world. You will find some of the most amazing projects, HQs, community gallery, and individualized builds in the entire metaverse scattered amongst the various size plots in Genesis. Just a few of them. Amazing characterizations of I Know Stupid. Although I'm like, there used to be more. I think somebody built it or bought it from them and like nuked half of it, which is really sad.
Yeah, they nuked the whole center part of and it was really actually quite an interesting story. But that's the beauty of
100%.
Right?
You buy it, you can break it. That's the whole thing. The Rocket Gallery is epic, and these are all links. You can check out the white paper and take a look at all these. The Blockbase has its headquarters there. Crypto Monkeys, Neon City, the Mall Gallery is obviously another huge one. There's just a ton of them. Uplifters Tower and the Total Gratitude Building, where Jimmy will go to work every day. Which reminds me, we should do gratitudes before we close this out. The Rubik Gallery, Class Art, just there's tons, and again, these are hyperlinked to, if I'm not mistaken, articles on where we hide all the alpha.com on the Uplift blog. And there's pictures. So yeah, this is Shift City. If you guys know the Crypto Writer team at all, they're building in Genesis. This one's from the Rocket Gallery. And the Luminia Lotus Temple. I actually hadn't visited there until relatively recently, and it's amazing. You go and hang out there during the day, daytime in Minecraft metaverse time. It's amazing. But then at night, they set it up so that it pops at night. It's pretty incredible. Anyway, so Genesis, it's pretty busy over there, and it's kind of iconic and historic at this point as well.
Anyone else? I can do this one. It's up to if anyone else wants to take a shot. Alrighty then. Gratitude. The only thing you need to know about Gratitude is the home of the longest private rail in the whole of the Uplift. It's not even in the white paper. But anyway.
And scene.
Gratitude filled this universe from the beginning. The world is one of the newest, though. Well, I don't know. Like it's kind of like the second world after Genesis that was created, but it was like one of the latest that was populated, just really the major population in gratitude happened, with the liftoff event that just recently happened. So in that sense, there's a lot of activity happening with builds and stuff right now. But this survival region is full of interesting partner community projects developing some of the most fascinating stuff you'll see around the metaverse. It's quite amazing to see what this small group of dedicated community survivalists has done in the early days of this server in such a short amount of time. Beyond the early communities that made gratitude their home, our estate sale unleashed one sector of the server into community hands, amplifying the collective build repertoire, and became the hosting ground for the first ever build contest, resulting in the exponential growth of some really amazing sites. Since that time, again, another quick update is needed in the last couple of weeks. The liftoff event basically opened up the whole server. Spawn area is kicking it. There's tons of cool plans and things going on. Again, you can follow all of these articles and really cool builds, the primordial flow of NEO, which is the giant water pyramid, which pretty much kicked gratitude off. I mean, his incessant whining about being the only one that was doing it without flying in in the creative Genesis world really was the impetus for bringing this whole, multi world sector together. The Grim Folks Hunted Castle Estate, the Maple Glazed Chik'in Chronicles Communal Playground, Cuddy Sark, the Bottle Ship, which is really cool, the Tiefling Tower. If you haven't watched the Tiefling Tower video, go watch it. It's absolutely flipping hilarious. It was part of the Gratitude Build contest, and these guys are awesome. Basically, this tower comes from the underworld and lands on some guy's village, some guy's house, and destroys his livelihood, and they have an argument and a really fun business arrangement at the end. It's a great video. Prosperity, Saragosse Castle. So again, another really cool one. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which is one of my favorites actually, which is right next to the Gratitude Pavilion, and the Gratitude Birch Plantation at White Crag Canyon Estate, which is Corey's estate by really. Of course, there's the Art Vending Machine Gallery and Amusement Park, which has tons of events and lots of really immersive, interesting things. If you know Joey Chips and you've seen him on the show, definitely recommend checking out some of those episodes and that build as well. And the gigantic Coliseum built entirely in survival, which is a testament to the brilliance, vision, and dedication that can be brought about when all one's ambitions for success are laid out. I probably, honestly, that's one of my favorite builds in the entire Uplift, and they did it all in survival. It's just brilliant.
So just a quick comment too on gratitude. Before I came around too, the Uplift was just going through this transition period where I think the original idea was just creative mode. And was about the galleries and about people touring them, and great vision built up on that. But then, thanks to any observation, we had gratitude sort of thrown in. And then, about when I came in, there was when we were starting to have a lot of people clamoring out for some survival-based experiences. So we launched some other worlds. Now there's a lot of argument between people as to which world's hardest in survival, because each one has slightly different features. Great point that the DAO could vote to change around some configuration files and make some worlds harder later if we want to. But right now, Gratitude's the only world where creepers explode and do block damage. So, in my opinion, that makes it an extra tricky area, and certainly builds that are complete and manage to stand the test of time that way are special here.
I remember in the early days before Gratitude was opened up, the Londomers and the Uplifters, they were heavy on each other's heels, and the Londomers, were we want to make it all like this. And so if you're in Londom and you still want to make it so that it's as hard as possibly be, head over to Gratitude. There's some cool stuff over there, definitely.
Londom, beloved OG turf with a lot of history. Chris or Dennis, you guys want to take one?
Sure, I don't mind reading this one.
Cool.
You'll have to scroll a little for me, though.
Got it. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, the world is named after our OG typo meme, which was present in our initial Genesis land sale. People couldn't help but love the fact that our website read Londom instead of random. It'll be around forever in the form of our first region entirely constituted of individual 50 by 50 plots, of which land plots could only be acquired through promotions and giveaways. initially. We did do the lift-off sale recently, so people have had an opportunity to build their estates out a little bit. In essence, London lands are a testament to the Uplift World, giving back to the community that supported us through thick and thin. As a little teaser, after Thoon, our second batch of shard blends will be for a region or two in London, so keep your eyes peeled for that. That'll be very exciting. This region was our first survival region to be entirely developed, with mobs and other more traditional aspects of Minecraft enabled. Those in London are strong and have taken their time to create some amazing things in the region. And for good measure, all land plots were gifted away. The rail plots are purchasable for those that wanted to grind it out with self-proclaimed real survivalists of the Uplift Metaverse's regional lands. Great builds in there, like the Bladson's house, fight mobs here, which is pretty fun. The London places you'll see, the spawn area is great. I'll note that after the liftoff sale, a lot of people spent quite a bit of wax to get the plots close to spawn in most of the survival worlds. And one group has built a giant tower in each of the survival worlds that is just full of portal hubs waiting to be filled out by people. So very cool stuff. London's also been the home of the London community, which has done some pretty cool things, including some videos. So definitely check out those videos. They're awesome. Smart Digital Payments has a headquarters in London. It's the central hub for one of the largest portal network installs in any region. 8 different locations with 16 portals total. Knight taking a knee to gain leverage for the force needed to release Excalibur from its resting place in the stone, just off to the side of Spawn in London. There are a lot of these epic prestige builds in the survival worlds too. I think, to be honest, when we started to release these survival worlds, I think there was more expectation that the cool builds would be in creative mode, and the survival mode builds would be a lot of farms or a lot of people that needed to do various things. But I think one of the end games for survival here is showing off what you can build in those constraints, and we've seen lots of cool stuff. We're starting to see some survival mode galleries even too, so kind of neat.
Well, and I would say one of the best things to ever happen to the Uplift, really, if we look back on it, because there was some debate around this, was when we implemented shops as opposed to villagers, because that just opened up the ability for people to come in and do amazing builds like this, right? Mm-hmm. And not just have to be mining for months or years to be able to get enough resources. It's more collective, and it's really brilliant.
Yep, and I think we've only seen the we're just scratching the surface there, I think. Greg in the comments was saying that Anders didn't start the survival fight, which is actually true. Although he was definitely the loudest. Greg was battling for survival early on. You can go back and find some of the shows we did back then. Like there was a war, on creative versus survival, and I'm really happy we cut the baby in half and just did both. So Uplift, another one of our many memes originating from a typo. Again, I think both typos might have been mine, or maybe Dennis, you had one of those. Either way, I think we get extra points for getting our typos memorialized forever, which has become a naming world tradition of ours. This drop of a misplaced finger on a U instead of an I happened so often, in fact, that the server name was born. The Uplift region sale was an important event, which, in terms of land, utilized our first ever whitelist, put more land in the hands of people than ever before with the matching mechanism beyond a certain predetermined threshold, and all in all, brought many new first-timers into our metaverse who were not yet familiar with the project. So we got the giant melon shop, the cross-design residence, the Uplift Mob Museum. We actually visited this on the show. Houses every variety of mob in the Uplift world. From the tireless stalking, capture, and transport of one dedicated curator. And what that means is, like, this guy went out, or person, I don't know if it was a guy or girl, they went out and basically got one of the bad guys each, like all of them, right? And somehow, like, herded them into this place and then enclosed them in it. Yeah. I don't know how any of that works at all. Like that.
Yeah, it was Blame AC, who's one of the Theta crew. He works closely with Max Life and some of those other guys. And the story that he told about like getting the charged creeper was like he woke up at 3 a.m. because like his Minecraft was still on, and like he heard the lightning and like he ran into the room and spent 3 hours getting it back. It's pretty impeccable.
I don't know how any of that works. Like that's some time and dedication and genius that's just well beyond me.
That's a really cool one.
All right, well, I gotta talk about Chik'in Ka'ah here, so I'm gonna take this one. Zestra and Greg are here. They're part of the CK7 that is our sort of first test at a governing body in in the Uplift, and they were in the server with me before we turned into the Uplift, right? And so they, like Greg and I were there building the first gratitude monuments in the old cathedral. Greg, likes to tell everyone that he built the beam in Cathedral 2.0, which is the only cool part about it. F you, Greg. But I mean, like Jen, and her husband obviously have builds around there as well, right? And Jen's got a couple different murals actually in Cathedral 2.0 that if you haven't found those yet, they're worth taking a look at. But I asked them when we started, mapping this out. So okay, we're gonna turn this into the Uplift. Here's this sort of grand, ridiculous idea. Let's see if we can pull it off. I asked them to basically, move west, right? Like all the stuff that's around the main builds that we already built was going to become the center of one big map, which of course we ended up not being able to do for technical reasons, but is still now the center of our universe. And so they went out west and started building a city. Now, I can't remember the actual language, but they wanted to go with this kind of Aztecian vibe. I'm sure they'll tell me what language it's actually in. But Chik'in Ka'ah is actually Western City in this language.
Yucatec, I think.
Yucatec. Okay, cool. Or something that probably rhymes with that. Anyway. Yeah, so, I mean, I absolutely love that. It might actually be in here, so I should probably just read this. But yeah, waves. Just shout out to Ginny, Zestra, and Greg for hanging out here. Just Chik'in Ka'ah's amazing. So this survival region is a collaboration between the Uplift World official team and a group of OG members who initiated the server on which this metaverse was founded, also known as the CK7. This council of people is present concurrently in their sector and throughout other Uplift World communities, helping to define and make this the active and thriving community that it is today. The Cathedral in Chik'in Ka'ah, the most recent site for weekly gratitude ceremonies, are open to all to meet and share what it is in this life they are most grateful for, no matter how big or small. I'm pretty sure those things are still to this day happening on Sunday. So,
and of course, Chik'in Ka'ah is also the home of Shippletopia, right? Which is sort of our first experience world in a way. Unlike normal experience worlds that we'll do going forward, Shippletopia basically has the main world in Chik'in Ka'ah split off so that you don't go in there and instead you go through a portal and go straight to the experience world. For the rest of them, we'll have both active for people if they want. But yeah, it's been a really great test, and definitely if you haven't checked it out, it's one of the better hidden secrets here in the Uplift. So
yeah, it's bonkers. And I think like mostly built by Jen's husband Ross too. It's just like, what? Excuse me. All right, well, I'll just keep going just because Swineland and Boravallis are pretty simple. So part of a collaboration we did with Our Planet, NFTs for development rights on these lands were only attainable by upgrading Our Planet land NFTs with Aether. Of course, now you can potentially purchase one off the secondary market. Again, if you get an Our Planet land NFT or one of ours for the rail, but in order to develop one of the many undeveloped lands in Swineland, you would need to go through the process of acquiring the Our Planet land key and upgrading it with Upliftium. Again, since we've done this, the liftoff event, we actually put all the rail on sale, so you might be able to find some of that on the secondary market as well. Interestingly, I think it was either in Swineland or Boravallis. There was one section that was running through Badlands, and there's almost no, if not no, Badlands that we have in our survival cluster. So those pieces, the rail pieces, ended up becoming extremely sought after, just because they wanted to get the resources that were underneath them, which is
that was in Swineland. The Chik'in Ka'ah peeps pecked it away on the auction day. They went heavy, but yeah, that was in Swineland. It's a really cool little area too.
Right. Yeah, I think, and those I think those maps are gonna start developing more and more. We got some plans for them. We might do some interesting things with them this year. So the second part of the collaborative lands with Our Planet, same principle as Swineland, different region, has a couple major builds. Hollows Peak, a village of sorts. Here's that Hollows Peak, Hobbit-like medieval gardenish layout consistent of a market, farm, storage area, windmill, and home, aiming to satisfy all the needs of the survival community residing near there in Boravallis. Soon.
I don't mind doing this one, and then maybe Tuttle can give the update because it's one of her, kind of passions too. So
Rock
one of
and
our
roll.
favorite memes of all time, Thoon really being such an iconic Uplift reference. Realistically, how could we not entrust the name to its own region? When Steak, when Drops, when Upliftium, Thoon, of course, still under development. Thoon is slated to be the second creative region to aggregate partner community projects into the Uplift World metaverse. We actually have aggregated a couple. Discordia is over there. There's a really cool build by a project that Medusa is looking after. It's an amazing dragon, breathing fire over a castle. Crystalia is over there. She's also involved with RadiQuest. She's doing some really cool stuff and live streams on her channel with those builds. We've got kind of the beginnings of like a kind of an art district that like was potentially slated to be its own server, but we just like kind of filtered it in there. Banano, and the rest of the server is pretty much empty. I do have one question though before we get into what's next for Thoon. I mean, this guy down here, right? Like he outdoes himself every single day on the team. But like my favorite thing, and this is hard to say because like you do a lot of things that I really like, Dennis, but my favorite thing ever was like opening up the computer one day and seeing the logo for Thoon. Like that was just so perfect. It was so good. And I just like, I don't know what inspired that, Back to the Future type of logo-ishness from you, but like that was just awesome, Dennis. Just awesome. If you don't know, Dennis is basically the creative genius for a lot of what happens on the site and the NFTs and all that he does is behind the scenes. It's just amazing, really.
Absolutely. And yeah, just the other thing that's not in here is since we did the white paper, we released shards. They went from conception to finished so quickly that they didn't really even make it into the white paper yet. So we have to go through a few spots and update it. The first shard blends are almost ready now. Could be in the next day or two. We just have to get the lands moved over to the right pool. And it's for Thoon. It's for the area plus or minus 1 block from spawn. And it's all the plots that weren't transferred over to Uplift World 1. So there's a couple of 250s I think there's one 250 by 250. There's a couple of larger plots as well. And then 50 by 50s that are nice and close to spawn. So hopefully for those people that have been collecting shards, this will be of good value to you because you're going to be with like-minded people right in the center of Thoon. And we'll get that area developed up and then figure out where we're going from there.
Genius.
And again, it's going to be another, like basically the second coming of Genesis, right? So, I mean,
yep,
that's going to be really interesting. And yeah, I'm excited because this is maybe potentially, possibly the first time that we've ever went hardcore on spawn first. All the other worlds, we kind of like, spawn
spread
was
out.
kind of came in later and they were spread out. So, as Corey mentioned, during the liftoff event, everyone like kind of huddled around spawn. So like this will kind of be for a lot of the hardcore users, and it'll be interesting to see how many towers and builds and cool things go up there. Because again, it's creative, not survival.
Indeed. So multi-server builders, themes, and concepts. Just a few extra things going on in the universe. The Uplift World being as extensive as it is, there are many great community members showcasing their amazing talents or themes being propagated far and wide across multiple sectors. With a variety of such immense proportions wrapped up across all aspects of the metaverse, how could we not include that here where community and connections matter most? So just a few examples. Characterizations of interest by Russ. He's in Chik'in Ka'ah, Old World, London, Uplift, Gratitude, Genesis, Awesome Gens, Creative Outlets. She's got spots in Old World, Chik'in Ka'ah, Genesis, probably more. Mitzi's Hotels, London, Uplift, and Chik'in Ka'ah. Follow Mitzi.
And now Genesis. Sorry,
Genesis
and now
as
Gratitude. She's doing the opening of her hotel, I think, next Monday.
Awesome.
Gratitude, we just put up a post on where we had all the alpha.com. Go check it out. It's based around this kind of like animation series that they've been working on for a few years, and that's going to be kind of their gallery, and they're going to do a quest, and they're going to give a bunch of those NFTs from that animation series first dibs to all the people who go and do the quest. And I think she's also going to be divvying out some shards as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, Mitzi's quests are iconic. She's been pushing the boundaries there for a while. Sue FG's Homesteads, Markets and Collaborations, Chik'in Ka'ah, Old World, Genesis. I talk about Sue and her daughter coming into the server soon after the pandemic started, when Greg and I invited people to just come in and hang out there because we're all stuck in our houses, right? And that the build they created together, the sort of farmstead, is still over there. If I'm not mistaken, just south of Cathedral 2.0. I still visit every once in a while. It's just sort of magic, because neither one of them were Minecrafters before this. The Aloha builders, they're in Genesis, Gratitude, Chik'in Ka'ah, and of course the Uplift World Temple Circuit, Genesis, Gratitude, Chik'in Ka'ah, London, Uplift. The Pioneer, this is the Pioneer Hotel in London, one of a few builds, walkabouts, and quests Mitzi has organized across multiple servers for the community to enjoy experiencing the metaverse life together.
And again, yeah, definitely, if you haven't done it, go check out her quests. They're super fun. They do them every week at various hotels. They give prizes away, different NFTs. Really good community.
So world maps, I'll just go through this real quick. So you can get an overview of more great builds, search for plot locations, track players and rewards, progress, and so much more by utilizing our interactive 2D and 3D Uplift World maps. And of course, if you're on the white paper, you can get the links to those. It's incredible, actually, what we're starting to be able to do with those, right? Like, so you can check after a season, you can actually check the plots that made the most in rewards, right? So you can study what people are doing and see if you can sort of learn anything from that to encourage more people to come to your land to do more things to potentially earn more rewards yourself, right? So it's pretty interesting.
It actually shows right on the map too when you click the plot and open it up. It actually shows the percent of the rewards that went out to that plot without even going. So there's a whole map, but you can see it plot by plot just on the main map too, which is really cool. So like if you're looking at potentially picking up a plot in the secondary or things like that, you can see how much traffic it gets or action it gets, especially if it's a developed build, which is really interesting.
Yep. So yeah, and these are just all the quick links to the different world maps we have going on, which of course you can achieve all from the Uplift.world maps anyway. So anyway, there you go. Non-linear roadmap. I mean, this is a whole thing. I wonder if we're even gonna be able to get through this in the next. I guess do you guys have a deadline, or you guys have to head out right at 11?
So honestly, I think we should wait
okay.
and do it tomorrow and make it be the first thing, because this segment, this YouTube video, will be the one that we'll want people to share out the most, because it's literally just the core of everything fun coming and getting it in people's brains.
I totally agree. Okay, sounds good.
So I'd say probably like tomorrow we'll be able to get through non-linear roadmaps and play to earn economy, and then on Saturday morning we can start with the Uplift Goes DAO, because that's pretty important too, right?
Right. Yeah, we might even honestly, like, the amount of things that I think we could plausibly discuss in our giant list of things we have planned in our non-linear roadmap. I can see that taking a whole episode on its own.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a lot there. All right, well, thanks guys, and thank you everyone for joining in the comments. Bull Bannon, I just want to mention, I said any chance there'd be a video about the finances behind Uplift, meaning update on donations, land sales, etc. We're cultivating a plan for some pretty epic transparency once we move to a DAO completely. I don't know if we're going to be doing videos on it or not, but all that information is going to be real public. So kind of has to be with the DAO. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Thoon. So you got to do there? Yep. All right. Do you guys want to add anything before we close it out?
Nah, just thanks to everyone who's out here watching, and hopefully it's been helpful so far, us going through the white paper. Certainly feel free to share these videos out, and we've still got that 7 days 7 prizes contest going on Twitter, so if you can get over there and check out some of those. I believe shards for the first half of the prizes, or at least the first day or two, are going out very soon. So yeah, we're just keeping on top of things. So
I got a thing or two. So definitely, come back tomorrow and on Saturday morning. Also on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Previous to this White Papers Chronicle episode, we're gonna have Frame Games and Tiny Miss B come on the channel. They're probably gonna talk about the shop list. They're probably gonna talk about their new NFT line and some of the things that they're doing over in Solana, which is really cool. So definitely come and check that out. We usually take weekends off, but we're going to do this because I think There's a lot going on right now. Also, Dennis has put together this really brilliant little events calendar that he needs your help to populate on the site. Dennis, you want to maybe tell people what is the events calendar and how they can get the information to you and why it's useful?
Yeah, sure. We are currently building up the events calendar, so it's as Jimmy said, not much populated at the moment. But essentially, we would like to have some kind of a hub to check out where all the events blog posts are, like some kind of events magazine, and you are always updated about the latest events that are on, and can have a own site to look up what you might need and get links, and you have basically everything in one place. And this will be Uplift World /events.
Yeah, and I'd like to shout out to the couple of people who've been giving ideas around things like events in the Discord. I think it's a great idea once we get this hub up and running to see if we can insert event reminders right in game, so that if you're running around in game and an event's about to start, you could see it and maybe even teleport to it. It's not in the list of roadmap items yet, but it's one of those great examples of a community suggestion that just makes sense, and can't wait till there's a DAO and that can just be popped up as a proposal.
Yeah, and finally, I added a new channel in the Discord. It's #Uplift featured articles or something like that. It's an announcements channel. Just go in there and you can see all of the archives for all of the different types of series that we have on where we had all the alpha. And there's links to the forums that you guys can fill in. And some of them are super short. Again, some of them are 5 sentences and 8 to 10 pictures. Just to get that stuff populated and out there. So we've had a few people who have been paying attention to submitting stuff, but definitely get your builds up there. You don't have to be a writer. You can take your own photos. Mitzi basically, sent me the information and I put together her, I can't remember the name of the hotel now. Sorry. The recent gratitude hotel. I put together that post, this afternoon, with her photos and things like that. So definitely get those things out there. I think Dennis has probably put it on the events page as well. They're going to be giving away some cool NFTs and things like that. So, this metaverse is a place that everyone can kind of connect, right? And so we want people to get to your plots. We want to see those reward numbers go up. We want to see the interactions and connections with people that you can make. It's funny because I've never met anyone on this team, but I keep hearing people on various channels in the metaverse saying that some of their best friends are people that they've never met because the Uplift World exists. And that's pretty cool, really. It's pretty cool to work with a team that you've never met, but it's also pretty cool to have a community that you've never met that stand up on one of the best communities out there. That's my gratitude. I'm grateful for the Uplift World team and killer community.
I'll definitely throw it out there. I've been asking for I'm doing some Uplift team giveaways on my personal Twitter, and I just ask people to comment what they're grateful for. That makes a list every single time I've ever done it. I have friends because of this, and I feel like I belong, and that sense, you beautiful bunch of freaking weirdos. I'm so happy that you feel as at home with the rest of us as we do with you. Sorry, Jimmy, what was yours?
Man, now we got to rewind it.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm grateful for this team and the killer Uplift community. The behind the scenes with Jimmy rarely edits because when he says things twice, it's just losing impact in me. It's almost true. And a big pet peeve, of course. He's like, why are your sentences so long? Why?
Well, that's the thing. You edit primarily because you clearly missed at least 100 words where a half of a word would do. Dennis, go ahead.
I wanted to say something similar, but then I will say I'm grateful to do what I love every day here.
Man, if you guys could be a fly on the wall of Dennis's apartment, then we don't even get to see it. But I'm just telling you, the creative genius of this team, hands down, Dennis makes and breaks so many things that it's impeccable. Thank you for all that you do, Dennis. I've known you the longest maybe on this team with the exception of Corey, and like remember in the early days when we were working on other projects.
Oh yeah,
just so much
a lot of
fun.
fun.
Like such one of the most brilliant people in the world, Dennis.
Completely agreed. Yeah, I totally feel like we're headed right back there to those days too. It's just the amount of creativity we're gonna unleash, and really like the shards are such a fun example of that, right? Like from idea to just like blindingly fast execution in like a matter of an hours or a day and a half. Anyway, Chris.
Yeah, if I can, I'll take two today. First one's I'm grateful for our dev team. There's so much work involved in getting the snapshot going and the token claims, and there's a lot that you're not seeing, but also a lot that people have spared the time to build for you guys, like that display. And yeah, I'm just so impressed with the work they're putting in. I'm also really grateful for our item frame vigilantes that are running around looking for people who've been stealing items out of item frames recently. We'll have some updates on that front soon. We've done some digging around in logs, and yeah, we have at least a few people banned now, but yeah, we'll get further.
We're coming for you. And Jen's got a hammer, and it's real big. Anyways, oh man.
As an offshoot, because like I just think this is hilarious. If nobody saw it, Elon Musk's latest tweet was brilliant. His next endeavor is to put the cocaine back in Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
just for the record.
I couldn't believe that was real for a second, and then I was like, yeah, no, this is definitely real. Yeah, I need to buy Coke now so I can put the cocaine back in it. Like, oh my goodness.
Visionaries,
right?
Things that they do.
I'm grateful for priorities versus promises. It's just good cake, and definitely how we're going to be moving forward. Hey, Brittany, we're super excited to have you and your man Framed Games on Saturday morning. We're going to have you guys on the show, and I'll just put your gratitude up here in the team spot because I mean, you guys are building apps for the Uplift community. And
I hope she knows. Hopefully, he told her already. Like maybe we outed it.
By the way,
no, I am too. I am too. You guys are doing some really cool stuff. I'm actually working on a feature with Solana, and I want to. There's a lot of Solana people in the Uplift displaying art and NFTs and things like that. So if you guys know other people and other galleries who are doing it, send them my way because I want to get those out there. I think Solana's. We make fun of most communities, but we do make fun of Solana a lot on our channel. For downtime, which ironically we haven't done very much recently, so that's a good sign. But I think that they're going to be strong in the future, and they're a community to watch. And there's a really cool group of people over there, and I'd love to see more of them in the Uplift and more Upliftians that are paying attention to art across all blockchains. And that's kind of my goal with the blog. So reach out, get your stuff up there. Come and hang out at Uplifters Tower and read some gratitudes and get inspired. Go into the amazing Tuttle building and check out the team gratitudes, which we were just in with Corey, and admire in awe the creative abilities in game in metaverse of Gary the architect, because that's just a work of art.
It really is.
Oh my God.
I can still and for those of you that don't know, underneath the water is the first 6 or 7 months, because we do a month every floor, of our team gratitudes, right? And there just was this moment where we popped out above the water, and then it felt like 10 minutes later. It was probably a month, but this entire edifice was sort of created. Anyway, it's just amazing. Anyway, thanks guys very much for joining us. Anyone else have anything they need to add? I know you guys kind of just did, but just in case. Good talk. All right, we'll be back tomorrow 10 a.m. and we're gonna go through the things that we're gonna be able to pick from to prioritize what we're gonna be building for the rest of the year, and it's gonna be fun.
Until that time again, you guys all kill it in the metaverse.